Speaking of jail time, Cosby found guilty. Cosby, now, he was found guilty of sexual assault, 3 counts of it. 3 of the women, we saw that magazine cover with 150 women or whatever. 3 of them have guilty verdicts. I think there are still more trials to be had. Maybe. Or maybe the statute of limitations, or maybe there's not enough evidence. I don't know. But I know that this trial, this was the one that was declared a mistrial. Excuse me. I belched. This was the one that was declared a mistrial. And then everybody kind of got worried about it and said, oh, man, is Cosby going to get away with it? No. Cosby is not going to get away with it because he's found guilty. Trial restarted. They went back through it. The jury went away. It was like the OJ jury. They went away for hours, not days, hours. I think it was 14 hours they deliberated, something like that. It was a little longer than the OJ trial, but not much. They didn't need a week, that's for sure. Hope that that defense attorney, I hope he wasn't putting on his Hawaiian shirt like John Travolta was on the OJ show, because he had to go right back into the courtroom, and it was found that Cosby is guilty. It really makes me happy to see Cosby guilty. Now, I mean, the punishment isn't as severe as it should be for somebody that did what he's done. It's 3 counts. There's a fine up to. We don't know what the sentencing is yet. Sentencing has not yet gone down. But from the article that I read, they said the maximum sentence was $25,000 per offense, which is $75,000 total, which, Cosby shits $75,000. There's probably $75,000 in cash in his sock. That's not an issue. And 10 years in jail. Now, Cosby deserves much more than 10 years in jail. But I don't think you need more than 10 years in jail. Cosby's 80 and blind. I hope he does get the full 10 years, because I love the idea of somebody who's as big of a scumbag as Bill Cosby was. Bill Cosby lived a lie for a very long time and had the world convinced that he was something that he is not. And I love that life is long. This is the lesson here. It's the same thing with this Golden State Killer who got caught yesterday after 30 years of nobody finding him. And wait till you find out about this Golden State Killer. But I just love that life is long and you think you've gotten away with it, but the chickens always come home to roost. Some people think, good things happen to bad people and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, man, in my 34 years, and maybe I don't have all the life experience in the world, but as I've gotten older, I've come to believe far more that people get what they deserve. Bad things happen. People get what they deserve eventually. Now, Bill Cosby, of course, he deserved to go to jail a long time ago and maybe spend his whole life in there. He could have gone to jail after he did it the first time and not victimize all these other poor women that he victimized. But the optimist in me is sitting there going, at least Bill Cosby is going to end his life there. And I mean, you talk about a low. The universe allowed Bill Cosby to be on this massive high, biggest TV show in the world, Jell-O pudding commercials. And now, after being at the top of the top, he's got to be at the bottom of the bottom. He's going to jail, and he's going to live the remainder of his life in there. He's going to die in jail. This is a guy who was convinced he'd have the good life forever, and he's dying in jail. Amazing. I love that story because he should be doing that. And it's almost, for me, poetic that all this good stuff was able to happen because it makes his final years in jail that much worse, because he knows how good it could be. He's going to be sitting there in jail thinking about how good and comfortable the end of his life could be. You work and you work and you work, and you just hope that when it's time to go, dying has got to be the most uncomfortable thing you could possibly do. You just hope you make enough money that you make that process as comfortable and as comfortable as possible for you and as easy as possible for the people around you. That's all you can want as a human being. If you don't want that, you're a bad person. Bill Cosby is going to have, first of all, it's going to torture anybody that supported him. That wife of his who stayed by his side the whole time, well, guess what? She's going to be saying her final goodbyes through a glass plate if he can even get visitors. And Bill will probably die in the most uncomfortable way you can possibly die. In jail with a sore hiney. You know? And he deserves it. And it's great. And I think it's good. Not Sam SD Mark says he's ODing before Monday. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Could be. Could be ODing. I mean, what else has he got to do? I'm surprised that he made it this long. I honestly think that Bill Cosby was just trying to extend this trial as long as humanly possible to hope that he died before he was found guilty. Because at this point, he's just riding out the clock. And guess what? Guess where the last lap is going to be? In jail. Unless he kills himself. He might. He might. He's probably going to try to do some kind of medical thing. You know, he's going to come up with some kind of thing that he needs to be in the doctor's care for to see if he can spend the remainder of his day in a hospital. But man, sometimes this country is too nice. If I'm a judge, there's no way you can convince me to put Bill Cosby in medical care for the remainder of his days. No way. No way. Sorry, bud. Bye-bye. Tough titties for you. It's going to be a long, painful last lap. That's if it's up to me. That's if it's up to me. Gruesome Fate says a federal resort. WWE Front Row says they may cite his medical needs as a reason to stick with house arrest. Dude, and T1 says he's too old for county. That's the problem. You guys are probably all right. That's the issue. You sit there and you're like, here's exactly the way it should happen. I'm getting all excited. You guys might be right. That they're just going to let him kind of gloss over this. That they're going to give him either house arrest or, hospital care or something like that. They should, at some point, Bill Cosby has had it great for many, many years. I don't see the problem with cutting him off from medication and just letting him rot in a cell. Literally rot in a cell. Put him in county. Let him rot in a cell. If he's in county, he'll last 2 weeks. Won't be anybody's problem. We don't have to figure it out at all. Oh, it's cruel and inhumane. Yeah, that's right. You'd never want to do anything cruel or inhumane to a guy like Bill Cosby, who's just been a peach. If you don't act like a human being, I don't know why we should be expected to treat you like a human being. That's all. Is that crazy? Is that mean? It's not right. It's not right. While we still, it says, Daniel says, have you seen the video of Vince and the D-Boys? I'm assuming that's Dudley Boys? I don't know. Having dinner in Saudi Arabia. No, I'm looking forward to tomorrow because it's WWE. Yeah, like Jimmy Snuka. Everybody's bringing up like the Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Yeah, he came up with a medical ailment and got out. I mean, he got out of his murder trial. He wasn't even found guilty. He got out of the trial because of his stomach cancer, and he didn't last long after that. But the fact that Bill Cosby didn't get out of the trial and he was actually found guilty is even more reason to be like, no. Screw all that. You got your mistrial. You extended it as long as you could. Enough extensions. Let's just do it.